G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, a little while back I did a video on a Stirling engine from Banggood. A really nice little Stirling engine. And I've always been a big fan of Stirling engines and flame lickers, any external combustion engine. I mean, I like all sorts of things mechanical. I'm sure a lot of the people into metalwork also like that sort of thing. Anyway, I thought, you know, maybe I'll do another Stirling engine review from Banggood. They've got a lot of them there, a lot of little motors, flame lickers, all sorts of Stirlings. And I thought, what the hell, let's do another one. I mean, down the track I want to get back into Stirling engines and flame lickers, because I did make some a few years ago and they never were very successful. But it was a lot of fun making them, you know. And if you've got a lathe, and you know, once you get past making all your tooling and fixing up everything that needs fixing, what are you going to do with it? Well, you know, making these sort of engines is really a great pastime, and if you get them to run, it's even better. But anyway, at this point in time, I'll show you one that I thought was pretty interesting. It's a piston port type one. It's a pretty basic design. It's one I think anybody could knock up pretty easy. So I'm going to undo this and we'll have a look, and maybe you can use it as a bit of inspiration. Alright, we'll open up the packet. Viewers will notice that I've actually sharpened this knife, and yes, it will cut better this time, I hope. Look at that. Way better. I got some comments about my knife last time. Alright, what's in the packet? Well, looks to be pretty well boxed and wrapped up, no damage. I got this on my welding apron so you don't get too much sort of variation. The camera overreacts a bit to white, and I didn't want it to sort of underexpose. And once again, it's a Banggood goodie, kindly donated by Banggood. Many thanks to Banggood. Makes it good for little channels like mine to get something interesting to show to people out there. So I'll undo the box and we'll come back. Right, so the box is open. Now this is an engine that's listed as SH-01, Stirling engine model. Now, it's not actually a Stirling engine. It's a vacuum engine or external combustion engine, and they're not all Stirling engines. It's a flame licker, and it's actually a piston port flame licker, and that's why I got this, to show you this. Also make a great gift for someone. But anyway, let's see what's in the box here. Right, a wick, a couple of little Allen keys, and the unit, which I presume is ready to go. So let's get out the trusty knife once again and see what we've got here. Oh, that's some sort of stick-on protector. Oh, I wonder what that was. Yeah, that's something that peels off. These things are pretty lightweight. You're going to be careful. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, yeah, look at that, yes. Isn't that beautiful? Let's come in close on that. Oh yeah, isn't that magnificent? These are a pretty simple design. You don't have a camshaft to mess around with to do the timing like you do with a flame licker with a blade type port at the end here. I'd made one of those, and I had Dickens' own job trying to get the thing to seal, and I think I had some heat transfer problems. I think I had a lot of problems. I did my own design, which was a dumb thing to do when you're first starting off on this sort of stuff. It's always better to go with a proven design. But this one is Gee, that's nicely made, isn't it? These Chinese flame lickers and Sterlings are just beautifully made. I mean, really excellent. I'll turn it around and come in close on the other side. So this is actually a spare wick. I've got a wick here and a little pot. Looks like it, when it's attached, it's got to get screwed on, so we'll investigate that in a minute. But yeah, wow, these things are so cool. I mean, that's awesome. That is just awesome. I'll take this bit of tape off. Might have to come back. It's a bit tricky. Yeah, I'll come back when I get that off. Well, the tape's off, so this just comes off. And there's the wick. You can see in there, you can see that piston port opening and closing on the intake slot. So it's, yeah, suck in, pull back, cool, vacuum pulls the piston back on that. Once it passes top dead centre, piston comes back, hits the floating valve, pushes it back, and repeats the cycle. And when that piston goes back, the back of the piston hits a stop, which is adjustable here. You can see it coming back and hitting that stop, and that pulls that piston port valve closed. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And it's all fully adjustable too. So yeah, piston goes forward, sucks in, this back of the piston pulls the port shut, over top dead centre vacuum pulls it back. Yeah, you can see how this works. I presume these are going to go clickety clickety click when they're running. I've never actually seen this design close up before. I've only ever messed around with the ones with the little flapper valve on the end and also a side valve. I converted my flapper, which just wouldn't quite run, to a side valve, and it still wouldn't damn well run. I think I had too much friction in the crank journal. I think the way they've done it here with this simple little crank pin is a good idea. So the whole thing is running on one ball, two ball races. You've got one each side, and look, there's a mark there too. Look, when they've made it, they've marked it. That's a shame. Yeah, they'll probably polish out, but it shouldn't be like that. They should have. Oh well, it'll. I suppose if you wanted to pull it apart and just run a cutter over it, you could clean that up, dress it up 100%. But yeah, annoying. I mean, it looks fantastic, you know, really. I mean, you've got to look close to see any blemishes in it, really. But yeah, if you're going to make something, it should be as good as you can get it. I'll turn it around the other way. Right here you can see that valve. So it's just basically two pistons that are not connected. It's not like a beta or anything like that. It's not like a beta Sterling. This works on a totally different principle. So the next thing is to see it run. So we'll put some methyl in it, alcohol. Whoops. That'll soak in, I think. Yeah, right. The other motor had a little sealing O-ring around here, which is a good idea. That would have been a better way to prevent flare. Well, that fits pretty snug. Oh, I think we'll be right. Not going, that piston seems a bit dry. I think it wants a bit of lubrication. They say to lubricate it with graphite powder, which I have got, so I think I'll let it cool down and I'll lubricate it. I mean, that feels quite gritty. Yeah, I think it needs a bit of lube. Alright, we'll try some graphite. Yeah, let's see if that improves it. This is dirty stuff, it gets everywhere. Be careful with it. It's a mess. I think I can see the problem. Look at the port here. When you pull it back, there it is opening. When it pulls it back, it's not shutting right off. Look, it should be coming back more. The adjustment on the adjustment on the stroke's wrong. Coming back and hitting the stopping on the back of the piston, but it's stopping too soon, so I think I'll have to back off this screw. Oh, well, I'll give that a go. They've got some sort of locking compound on this adjusting screw, so I'll have to probably take that off. This thing just doesn't want to run, so I'll just have to play around with the adjustments on this and see what I can do. Something's not working. Alright, well, I'll try adjusting this up a little bit more. Maybe that'll help. I'll get this thing to go. If it kills me, it probably will. That looks interesting. Alright, let's give this another go. it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Damn you. No, I think I've gone too far with this little one here now. Knock that back a bit. There must be a sweet spot where you hit. Maybe Banggood make all their money selling matches, because I'm going to go through a hell of a lot at this rate. Big matches, come on, baby, do your stuff. Do your stuff. Look at that. We're nearly there. Isn't this frustrating as all hell? No, I'll have another go. I'll give this a bit more thread. I reckon we're getting close here. I have this feeling, well, I've had that feeling quite a few times today. Okay, matches. Oh shit, nearly set myself on fire. Alright, come on. Come on, do it, do it. What we have here is exactly what I expected. It's Rob's curse on any flame liquor engine that comes within 100 metres of him. I've never ever managed to get a flame liquor engine of any description to run, and even when you get a factory one, it still won't run. Amazing. But I did have to think, maybe I need a bit, maybe I'm using the wrong size matches or something, Maybe if we go to some bigger ones, that might work. Well, I mean, technically, that's all I can think of. Well, I don't give up easy, so I'll keep pushing on with this little motor. One thing that gets me, they give you a spare wick, that's okay, and then they give you 2 Allen keys. But they're both exactly the same size, right? They're both exactly the same size, and neither of them fit anything on this engine. All the Allen header bolts are all a larger size. Totally useless. Unless there's something on the bottom that I haven't. No. That's bizarre. I mean, what's the point of putting in Allen keys that don't do anything? Beats me. Look at that! Look at that! It's going! It's actually going! My goodness, there is a God after all. Come on, baby! Oh, look, it's accelerating. It's going berserk. Now we're good. Look, we're good. We're good. Yes! Yes! We're hitting maximum RPM. Look at that motor go. Oh dear. How good is that? Man, that is one touchy little motor. Got you. It is pretty awesome though, I've got to admit. Just had to get that adjustment right. Got a bit of a weave in the pulley here, oh, not too bad. Ah dear, that's made my day. That has made my day. Yeah, the top of the pot is a bit loose. It tends to go off centre. It runs best when the flame's just in the right spot. Now she's going. You see that lid wobbling around a little bit. It's right there where the sweet spot is. Well, there you have it. That's a load off my shoulders. I've finally beaten the family flame liquor curse that's just gone down through generation after generation. And I actually got one of these mothers to run for the first time ever. I mean, you know, it should run out the box, but it didn't. It needed some tinkering, a bit of fine fettling and a bit of sort of investigation. And it's the first time I've ever played around with one of these, so, you know, but you learn, you figure it out, and we got there in the end. My only advice is if you buy one of these, stock up on plenty of matches and, you know, take a few calm me down pills before you attempt to get it running. Now, the price. It's $119 Australian for this little unit delivered. Or if you're in the USA, it's $89. And that's a pretty good deal, I think. The links to this unit and also other Stirling and flame liquor engines, vacuum engines, are in the video description. So that's it from me. It was an interesting little exercise, and yeah, it just goes to show you how tricky these little motors are. All right, well, that's it from me, and if I don't see you again before Christmas, yeah, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you next time. Cheers.